Okay, LSAT PrepTest 19, Section 1, questions 13 through 19. This is the third logic game of this section, so let's go ahead and take a look. So we have two boats, boats 1 and 2. Will be assigned exactly 4 people. Okay, so we have boat 1, we have boat 2. There's 4 slots in each of them. Okay, exactly 8 people, 3 adults. Oh, so we have categorizations now. So we have adults, which are F, G, and H. We have children, who are V, W, X, Y, and Z. Must be assigned to the boats according to the following conditions. Okay, so I'm willing to bet that these categorizations, because they've given us these groups, are going to come into play somehow, right? Okay, so first rule: each boat is assigned at least 1 adult. So let's make this a purple slot, right? Let's just like there's got to be 1 adult in each of these boats. Okay. How about second rule? If F is assigned to 2, G is assigned to 2. So this is rule number 2. If F is assigned to 2, that implies G is assigned to 2. Third rule: if V is assigned to 1, W is assigned to 2. Okay. Fourth, X and Z, no matter what, hate each other. They can't stand to be around each other, so they have to be on different boats. Okay, so when I see these conditional statements, I take contrapositives, in particular because this is an in and out game, right? So really, for example, in number 2, if you take the contrapositive of this, G2/ implies F2/. Well, if G is not in 2, since this is an in and out game, G has to be in 1. If F is not in 2, that means F's got to be in 1. Right? And so actually, because this is an in and out game, because of the structure of this game, you can figure out a lot of information by taking these contrapositives. So let's actually just clean this up, since that's just an intermediate step that we kind of don't need. And so this contrapositive we can just move over here. Right? That's the final expression. Very similar here. W2/ is just W1. V1/ is just V2. Right? So actually, let's take this whole thing and move it back over here, so we can see that. Right, so rather than leaving it in the slash form, I just went ahead and did this. Right, it's just easier this way. And then X and Z obviously just trade off here. And so here's the other thing, right? X and Z, they just kind of don't care about each other, right? Like they're just or they care about each other. They don't care about anybody else. Basically they hate each other, but they can live with anybody else, right? And so you look at this. Our conditional statements have to do with FG, VW, right? FG, VW. This thing is X and Z. Except X and Z are just like, it has nothing to do with these other 2 rules, right? You can almost put a line between them because X and Z just don't care about the rest of the stuff. So actually what I'm going to do, there's no way that we're going to be able to figure out what goes where until we have some more information above us, or under our belts. But in the meantime, right, we can definitely just do this. X and Z trade off in one of these slots. They're completely oblivious to the rest of this game, but they trade off here, right? Okay. And so, until we start triggering some of these conditionals, there's not a ton else that we can do. There's nothing here to link up necessarily per se. Let's actually make this black. So let's just cordon off our work and just go straight to the questions. Okay, so question 13. Which of the following is an acceptable assignment of people to boat 1? Okay, so basically, this is your standard acceptability question. So let's go ahead and reproduce. FGHX, FHWY. FHYZ, that's Z, FVWX, and then GHXY. Okay, and so these are the people on boat 1. So typically, what's going to happen is that like if they tell you everybody was on boat 1, they're also telling you everybody's on boat 2. It remains to be seen whether or not we're actually going to need that, right? Okay, so the first rule: there's got to be 1 adult in each boat. Well, we know for sure here that there's 3 adults here, which means that there's not going to be any adults on boat 2. So that can't be right. Let's keep going down a list of rules. We take the contrapositive here. If G is in 1, then F is in 1, right? If G is in 1, where's F? No, E can't be it, right? Next rule. If W is in 1, V is in 2. Here's W. Here's W, but here's V, right? Can't have that. So the answer is D is also wrong. And then X and Z, but X and Z aren't together in either of these. But are they really? Right? So here what we're going to do is we're going to put together the second boat. So G is the adult on this boat. What do we have left? We have V. We have X, and we have Z, and there it is, right there, right? Because we have to have at least one of X or Z in this first boat, because we can have the other one on the second boat, which means answer choice B is not ever going to be right. Looking at answer choice C, we put this together: FGH, V, W, X, Y, Z, and this works. This doesn't violate any of our rules. So answer choice C is going to be the answer to this question. Okay, moving on to 14. If F is assigned to boat 2, which of the following is a pair of people who can be assigned to the same boat as each other? Okay, so now boat 1, boat 2. Right, now we have F assigned to boat 2. Well, then we trigger this rule, right? F2 implies G2, which means G is here. And that means we triggered this rule about adults, right? We've only got one adult left, so he's got to be in boat 1. What else do we know? We know that V and X, X and Z, X and Z trade off here, right? Which means that there's one slot left here, and there's 2 slots left here. Okay, and so what rules do we have, right? We don't get to trigger this third rule yet, but I mean we actually kind of do, right? Because look at what's happening here. If V is in 1, then W is in 2. So if one of these guys is here, the other guy is over here, right? And the only like the trap that most students fall into is they feel like that means that one of them has to be here, the other one has to be here. That's actually not true, right? Because if you put V and W both into this out slot right here, into boat 2, that can work, right? This rule does not preclude V and W both going in slot 2. But what does preclude it in this particular case is the fact that we only have one slot remaining, right? So it turns out that this rule means that there's got to be one of V or W here. There's got to be one of V or W here, right? Which means what is left? The only element that's left is Y, so it's got to come in boat 1. And that's just so we learned something here is that if F is in 2, then V and W have to be split up, right? There's no way that that they can be together in slot 2 if F is also in slot 2, right? It's just a numbers game. Okay, so what do we have in terms of the answer choices? Oh, A, B, C, D, E, not A, B, G, D, E. Let's go ahead and reproduce these. So it's F and Y, G and H, G and Y, V and W, Y and Z. Okay, so can F and Y ever be together? Nope. Get rid of it. G and H? Nope. Get rid of it. G and Y? Nope. Get rid of it. V and W? Nope. Get rid of it. Y and Z? Yeah, Y, and if you pick Z here and put X there, yeah. So answer choice E is the answer to question 14. Okay, 15. If exactly 3 children are assigned to boat 1. Okay. So we have our 4 slots. And we know that 3 children are assigned here, which means that there's 1 adult here and 2 adults here, right? And so what we don't know is what the distribution looks like, because we know that if F is in 2, then G is in 2, right? So if F is here, G is definitely here. But if F is here, then G and H can still go here, right? So there's actually a couple different ways that this can happen. So let's actually just copy this over here, and let's try to figure it out, right? So if F is in slot 2, G is here, and H is here, right? If F is in slot 1, then G and H have to be here, right? And so actually what we find out now is that, if there's only 1 adult in boat 1, G is definitely going to be in slot 2 all the time, right? Okay, what else do we know? We know V, let's actually put X and Z down here because they're not very, they're just kind of completely isolated from the rest of this game. And so once again, look what we have, right? We have the situation where V and W, could potentially go into this slot 2, except that there's 2 adults here already, which means that once again V and W are going to trade off in this slot, which means once again Y is right here, right? So same deal here, V or W, W or V, and then Y is right here. So we actually have pretty good information about what's going on in question 15. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at some answer choices. I'll just write them over here, since we've taken up so much space already. Okay, so we have F and H, we have G and Y, we have H and W, V and W, W and Y, and they're asking us which of the following is a pair of people who could be both assigned to boat 2. So we're here, right? Okay, so first things first, F and H, no, F and H always have to be separate, right? So no way. G and Y, no, G and Y also always have to be separate, so there's no way they can be together. H and W, H and W can be assigned together in boat 1 and in boat 2, right? So that looks pretty good. How about D? V and W? V and W always have to be separated. Remember, this is the same numbers game we talked about earlier. W and Y? Y's always got to be in 1. And so, so if you pick W here, it seems like that could work, right? So now we've got these 2 answer choices, H and W and Y, that we have to sort of, think about a little bit more. I apologize. It's in boat 2, right? So Y has always got to be in boat 1. So that's why answer choice E is not it. I thought I was missing something, right? So definitely the answer to this question is answer choice C. Great. So this is all one question. So let's move up here for 16. Let's see if we can make a little use of this white space over here. Okay, so if G is assigned to boat 1, which of the following must be true? Okay. So G is assigned to boat 1, which of the following must be true. If G is assigned to boat 1, that means F must also be assigned to boat 1, which means that H must be assigned to boat 2. And see now this is the situation where we can actually put V and W into the second slot without repercussions, right? Okay, so once again we're going to put X and Z down here because they're too cool for school. And so now what we're looking for is we have V, W, and Y left to place. Right, okay. I have no idea whether we're going to actually need most of this information, but this is what it looks like, right? You know for sure that this is the case. Okay, so what must be true? Must it be true that H is assigned to boat 2? Yeah, that's it. That has to be it, right? Because if G is here, F is here, which means that H is here. Okay, looking at the rest of these real quick, V is assigned to boat 2. That's not true. You can just put V here and then W here, right? If V's in 1, W's in 2. That's great. That's fine. Or you can put both of them here. Or you can put both of them out. It just doesn't matter where you put it. Exactly 1 is adult assigned to boat 1. Nope, there's 2 of them right there. Exactly 2 adults assigned to boat 2. Nope, there's only 1 of them. Right? These are actually just flip sides of each other, so they're both equally incorrect. Answer is E. Exactly 2 children assigned to boat 2. Nope, there's 3 kids. Right? So I mean, actually, all 3 of these answer choices are just testing the same concept, testing to make sure that you got that if G is in 1, that implies F is in 1, which means that H is in 2. Right? Oh, so I actually didn't mean to. Oh yeah, I did. Answer choice A here. The circle answer is correct. Answer choice B is wrong, but it's wrong for not the same reasons as C, D, and E. Okay, so that's question 16. Okay, so that's that. Let's go ahead and get rid of all of this previous work and tackle question 17 now. Okay, so question 17 asks us if V and W are assigned to the same boat as each other. Okay, so here's the deal. V and W immediately makes you look at this third rule. If either one of them is in the first boat, that means the other guy's got to be in the second boat, right? So if either one of us is in the first boat, that means they can't be together. So when they tell you that V and W are together in the same boat, what they're actually trying to tell you is that V and W are together in the second boat, right? This is the only way that they can be together, right? And so you tack on your X or Z or X factor, and then you realize there can only be 1 adult here, right? Which means that there must be 2 adults over here, which means that, that means that you also have, let's actually write this in black, right? That Y definitely has to be over here, right? There is no F over here, which means that F has to be over here, which means that G, or which doesn't actually mean that G has to be there, excuse me, right? And so we have G and H and G, and that's how this is going to work, right? So we actually have pretty much complete information here. So looking at these answer choices, F and H, F and Y, G and X, W, X, Y and Z. And what are they asking us? They're asking us, which of the following who must also be assigned to the same boat as each other? So F and H, they could be, but they don't have to be. F and Y, yes, absolutely. Looking at the rest, G and X could be, but don't have to be. W and X, same deal, they could be, but they don't have to be. And then Y and Z. Y and Z, they could be, but they don't have to be. Right, so answer is B is your answer to question 17. Okay, moving forward, question 18. If H is assigned to a different boat than Y, which of the following must be assigned to boat 1? Okay, so we look at our previous work, and we actually see, for example, like in question 17, when they told us that V and W were together in the same boat, that precludes any possibility. Actually, no, it doesn't. Never mind. Forget I said anything. Okay, so 1 and 2. H is assigned to a different boat than Y. There, I mean, there's 2 ways to do this, right? H and Y, or Y and H. Okay, so if we have F and 2, that means G is in 2. So over here, right? Since we need to have an adult, let's actually move this child down. Since we need to have an adult in each boat, F clearly cannot be in 2, so F has got to be in 1, right? Which leaves us G over here to place, right? And then W in 1 implies that V is in 2. Well, then W and V also have some kind of special relationship here. And then there's the 2 cool for school guys down here, X and Z, right? X and Z, X and Z. right? And so basically this is just a this is just a placement question about G, W, and V, at least as far as this one is concerned, right? And then over here, we need to have at least one adult, right? We have our one adult in each one here, and so once again we have F and G to place here, and then what else do we have? So we have F, G, H, V, W, X, Y, and Z, right? So here we have 4 elements to place, and so there's definitely got to be this this adult over here. But then the thing is that F can actually be in either slot this time, right? And so this one has a little bit less information going for it, except that now that I see that, I see an endpoint to our to our scenario drawing. So let's actually just reproduce this, and let's actually just run through it, right? F can be in either 1 or 2, so let's actually use green. So here let's put F in 1. Here let's put F in 2. Well, if F is 2 here, that means G must also be here, which means V and W are both in 1, and that can't happen, right? So this entire scenario cannot happen, which means that we're stuck with this. We're stuck with F being in slot 1, which means we take care of this. We still have no idea where G goes, right? It could very well be the case that G goes here and V and W go here. It could equally be the case that G goes here and V and W go here, right? And so once again, we're stuck again with this G, V, and W sort of triad that we need to place. But I mean, in any case, that's literally all we're going to be able to figure out from this stimulus. So let's just go ahead and look at the answer choices. So answer choice A. Or they're asking us, which of the following must be assigned to boat 1? So H, no. F, yes, right? Y, no. X or Z, no. And then we just have no idea about these others. So the answer has to be F, right? And that's answer choice A. Well, again, the rest of these, just if you want to really convince yourself, then we just went over why G can go either here or here, right? We just went over. We know for sure that H can either go in 1 or 2. And we know for sure that we have no idea where V goes. We talked about it here, where V can either go in the second slot or in the first slot, right? And then Y is very similar. Y is in 2 here, but it's in 1 here, so there's no way that it has to be. So that's question 18. Closing off the question 19, if exactly one adult is assigned to boat 1, which of the following must be true, right? So if one adult is assigned to boat 1, there's 2 ways that can happen, right? For sure, it means that F is not in 2. Because if F is in 2, then G is in 2. So that means F has to be in 1, right? So if F is in 1, let's just start with this one, right? Then G and H are here, and that's the way it can go, right? But what else? What is the other way that we could do this, right? We definitely can't do if G is in 1, right? Because if G is in 1, then F is in 1, then H is in 2, and this just does not comport with the rule that question 19 gives us. The third way to do it is this way. Put H here, put G here, put F here. Right? So F is in 2 and G is in 2, and then H is over here somewhere. And so they're asking us which of the following must be true. So let's close this out by looking at A, B, C, D, E. Let's actually split this off from question 18, from question 17. Okay, so F is assigned to boat 1? No, not necessarily. G is assigned to boat 2? Yeah, there we go. That's got to be it. H is assigned to boat 2? No, that doesn't have to be the case. Right? V is assigned to boat 1? We have no idea. Because, like once again, if you remember at the very beginning we were talking about the numbers game, right, where there's only one of these guys, or if there's 2 guys in the second boat, V and W can't both be in the second slot, except that there's no reason that we can't put V here in slot 2 and W here in slot 1, right? There's just no way. And then just remembering that X and Z trade off because they're just too cool for everybody else, right? And that answer choice E just never has to be true. Right, X and Z can do whatever they want as long as they're in opposite boats from each other, right? And so it turns out answer choice B is the correct answer to this game, or to this question, and that's this game. It's a little tricky, especially this question 18. But in general, if you move through it methodically, you should be okay.